Yes, hello and welcome to the BFNL Footy Show for another week. Proudly supported by McDonald's, Ballarat and also Ballarat. Nutty, welcome aboard, son.
Good on you, son. Good on you.
Shawnee, welcome aboard, mate. Good to have the big fella back on board.
It is, mate. It's fantastic, and this has just turned into comedy capers straight off the bat. Well done, mate.
Nutty, you ventured to the Alfred and Reserve on Saturday for a kick of the footy, mate. How'd you go?
We've already been through this, but we'll go through it again. Why not? Because Matty Wilshire forgot to push record.
Good work, Matty.
We'll go again.
Yeah, your footy career, mate. Where are you at in terms of...
It's at the crossroads, let's be honest.
Oh,
It's not looking good. Probably got a couple of games left in me, but we'll see what happens.
The back this time?
Yeah, it's all back.
Adds to the litany for the year. I think you've done one of everything.
Yeah, I've got a big toe and about a small finger to go, and I reckon I'll...
Yeah, well, obviously you can see the shiner on the right eye as well.
Yeah. So, that was, just a pack mark, mate, where I got mauled. But, we'll see. It should heal all right.
Boys, moving on to the more important conversation. The first game we'll look at is between Ballarat and East Point. East Point 16-13, 109, defeated Ballarat 10-13, 73. For East Point, Dan Jordan kicked 7 goals, 2 goals to Sam Cooper and Jason Delaney. For Ballarat, Chris Howgate kicked 2 goals along with James Quayle. Better players for East Point, Paul Kotarenko, Jason Delaney and Dan Jordan. For Ballarat, better players Nico Farrell, Joe Otto, Mark Cunningham. Boys, Dan Jordan in very good form. His last 4 or 5 weeks have been outstanding.
He has. He's been in super form. I think he's settled into the coach's role as he spoke about earlier. He's doing really well. Well done to Paul Kotarenko in a milestone match. Fantastic effort. I don't know how many games he played on the weekend. 150. Fantastic effort to turn in 150 games, especially in the run. So well done to us.
Sure, where's Ballarat at? They've got a big game this weekend. They've got They're just on 26 tomorrow, but I think they need to try and get a few
Yeah, they do. They've shown glimpses against the top sides this year. They played 3.5 years against Sunbury and they won as for 3 quarters for us already this year. But look, they need to do a little bit more to consolidate their spot. They're not well and truly over the line to their 8th consecutive run appearance just yet. 2 clubs only a game behind them, and they play away from the Eastside this week. That obviously came with 3 points they were at round 1 and will be absolutely red hot for the victory.
That's his thoughts.
Boys, Darley take on Sunbury. They did take on Sunbury on the weekend. Bit of an upset here. Darley 12-12-84 defeated Sunbury 6-7-43 for Darley. Dane Grenville kicked 3 goals. 2 goals each to Mark Hanson, Casey Nance and Darren Leonard. For Sunbury, Matthew Medcraft kicked 3 goals. Better players for Darley, Tate Stone, Shane Page and Drew Edwards. Better players for Sunbury, Michael Coleman and Greg Hay. Boys, Darley, they are a genuine contender now.
In a very physical outing on the weekend, from all reports. It sounds like they intimidated Sunbury, which is not regularly done in the Ballarat football league. It's normally Sunbury, I guess, that's probably the stronger side of the weekend. But obviously, Sunbury had a lot of key players out and probably cost them in the weekend. Don't think Rick will be too concerned with that loss because if they finish in the top 2, fantastic. They finish 3rd.
Shawnee, there's been some talk about Sunbury. They need to get some of those premiership players back from injury. You just feel that they need to get some games under their goal as well. There's no point in coming back with 1 round to go. They need to get 2 or 3 games into them, play some good footy, and then they'll be up and down come finals time.
Yeah, that's right. I think that they need to get 2 or 3 games into those kind of guys. They've got to manage them pretty well as well. We know that on the weekend, Pat Carris was one of the injuries coming back for his first game after an injury. It was a reoccurrence, and even Rick Hall would acknowledge during the week they may not have managed Pat's injury all that well. So they've just got to make sure that when they do get them back in, they're cherry ripe and ready to go. Understand what you're saying, but you don't want to bring a bloke in a week before he's ready and risk having him do the injury that's going to see the rest of the finals just to get that extra 4 quarters of match fitness under him.
Note, Simon Clark back on the weekend got through the game and played quite well too.
Melton South took on Redan. A bit of a danger game for Redan leading into this one. Obviously, the game was played down at Melton South and they lost last week, Redan, so it was a big game for them. Redan won the game, 11-15-81, defeated Melton South 7-11-53 for Redan. Brenton Reardon kicked 3 goals, 2 goals to Mitchell Phelps. For Melton South, Matthew Sutton kicked 4 goals. The better players for Redan, Brenton Reardon, Hayden Rowley and Matthew Karras. Better players for Melton South, Craig Searle, Simon Coles and Doug Thomas. So a really important win here for Redan, Nunny.
Looks like there could have been a windy conditions there at Recreation Reserve on the weekend by the looks of the scores. And first half you would probably say that Redan owned it. They were obviously into the breeze in the first quarter and at quarter-time level, and then obviously made Melton South play in the second quarter. So a couple of mental lapses there for Melton South boys, which probably cost them really getting into this game. But still, a 28-point defeat to one of the best sides in the competition for a number of years is probably good result.
Shawnee, Jared Edwards, you all know that he left the club to go to North City at the start of the season. He was front page news, and all of a sudden he appeared back at Redan training one night and played a couple of games for Redan. Now hasn't been seen since. What's happening there?
Yeah, not sure exactly what's happening. We think that Jared might be done for the season, although I don't think that conversation's been had between Jared and Redan.
Yep.
It's an interesting one though, because I've got a feeling Jared might have fallen out of love with football for a little bit this year. He's obviously got some other things on in his life, but who knows? He only needs one more game to qualify for finals, I believe. I think he's played 2 this year. Nunny, correct me if I'm wrong.
I think he's only played 1 against Sunbury at the start of the season. I'm not 100% certain.
I actually think he did play a game the week after that, but either way, he's on the cusp of finals qualification.
Yeah.
What does Eamon Gill do if he does come back and plays a game or two to get qualified for the
finals? That's
final?
a question I'm going to pose to you here, Nunny. Like, he's obviously been an outstanding player for Redan over the journey, decorated player in the competition, Henderson medalist on numerous occasions. Redan, finished the season pretty well. He turns up with 2 rounds to go and wants to play. What do you do? He comes in for the reserves, I'm assuming?
Redan's actually, I guess, had form in this area in the past. Julian Field a couple of years ago came back, played 3 games in the reserves, qualified for finals, ended up playing in the senior flag. So I think if he does come back, they'll probably play him to qualify him in the reserves just to get him over the line, and then come finals time, I think everyone knows that you lay all your cards on the table, and he would definitely get a spot in their senior side. 4-time Henderson medalist. How could you leave him out?
Boys, North City took on Lake Wendouree last Saturday. North City
Lakers.
Sorry?
Was Lakers?
Was that?
North City, Lakers,
Right,
yep.
okay.
4 goals to zip in the first quarter, so North City jumped out of the blocks, led by 24 points at quarter time, but Lake Windouree's form after the quarter time was very good. The final score, North City 8-9, 57 defeated Lake Windouree 5-5, 35. For North City, Mitchell Johns kicked 3 goals, Joe Mason kicked 2. For Lake Windouree, Ash Simpson kicked 2 goals. Better players for North City, Tyler George, Brendan Howard and Tristan Carledge. Better players for Lake Windouree, Angus Kirby, Tim Malone, Ashley Simpson, Ben Hayes, Daniel Mooney. What was that? Kirby. No, Scott Carey. He came in Monday morning and said he was outstanding and used the ball well off half back, kicked the goal off. So
The rumour has it that he slept in on Saturday. He was a little bit tired during the first
boys, North City wasn't probably their best performance after quarter time. But I don't think they're going to be playing the best footy this time of the year. They've obviously been the third sort of performance so far this season. What do you take of this game?
Look, I don't think North City will be too worried about it. They obviously, in the first quarter, it was 4 goals, 1 no score, and we know what the conditions were like on the weekend. They were beautiful across most of the state, let's be honest. And North really got the job done when they had to. In the first quarter, they had the best of the conditions then, and they put the score on board. After then, look, take nothing away from Lake Windouree, because they did play a really good game on the weekend. They outscored North Ballarat City for the 3 quarters, for the second, third and fourth quarter. But having said that, I think North obviously got the job done, did what they had to do and got the 4 points.
Yeah, I was talking to a mate of mine during the week, Dodger Brady, and he was saying that Scotty, he's a man that talks up his preparation in a game during the week, Nunny, but when you work KFC, Macca's and all sorts of junk food during the week, mate, you probably don't give yourself the best chance to perform.
You can probably see the KFC chips packet in the bin at the moment, to tell you the truth.
He doesn't really look after himself midweek, does he?
No, but anyway, he's had a reasonable year, but I think he could play a lot better. Boys, just touch on the netball here, big weekend of netball.
The Backer Smash Sebastopol game, maybe?
Yeah, Backer Smash Sebastopol, if you like first, boys. Backer Smash 16-13, 109, defeated Sebastopol 4-7-31. Backer Smash, Abraham Kirk kicked 4 goals, 3 goals to Mitchell Wilson and Trevor Hilton. 2 goals.
Good to see you paying attention to the run sheet.
2 goals to, it's third time around, so. 2 goals to Michael Power from Sebas. But for Backer Smash, better players, Lee Wilson, Matt Denham and Mitchell Wilson. Better players for Sebastopol, Taylor Stewart and Sam Jenkins. Boys, a good win there for Backer Smash. We know how good they were last weekend against Lake Windouree that last quarter. Surely they've been over the last 5 quarters. It's been really good.
It has. It's been fantastic. And again, that first quarter on the weekend, we mentioned the conditions before. 15 scoring shots in that first quarter. It just shows what underneath the Backer Smash are in at the moment. They're threatening for that top 6 at the moment. They're a game behind Ballarat. Obviously, Ballarat get hold by Lakers this week. Backer Smash play Melbourne, who, as we know, haven't been in the best form this year. We could see the Rebels knocking on the door to the top 6 on Saturday night, don't he?
They've got a pretty difficult run home. They've got to play some the better Eastern Coast sides twice. They've got Sunbury and Derby and pretty difficult run home. They're probably the smokier of all these
I know you were saying off air before about Becca Smash and sorry about Sebastopol, I should say, and how they've missed some of their experienced players throughout the season. They're playing lots of young kids.
We thought it was on air, but
well, yeah. Let us, I suppose, over the next 5 or 6 weeks, from a Sebastopol point of view, what should they hope to get out of the season?
I think competitive performances, that's what they've got to hope for. They're a young side, they're missing some of their stars, and yeah, they've just got to build on that. They've got to, and we've spoken about Michael Powell and how good he is up forward for them. They've got to find a way to actually get him the footy so he can do his thing, basically. So, just about being competitive, working hard on the track, and pushing the rest of the season out so that they can move on into another pre-season and try and build on what they've been able to achieve this year.
No worries, boys. Just that's it. Yep. All right, moving on to the netball boys from last weekend. East Point 55 defeated Ballarat 26. Darley 15 lost to Sunbury 31. Redan had a 1-goal victory over Melton South, 38 goals to 37.
Second close game between these two sides this year. The first game was a draw.
Yep. And North City 43 defeated Lake Wendouree 34. And Sebastopol 47 defeated Bacchus Smash 43. Boys, two results I want to speak about is the Sebast win over Bacchus Smash. Goes to show that Georgia Cairns doing a great job there. They've shown much improvement this year, which is great to see. The second game I want to talk about is North City and Lake Wendouree. Lake Wendouree aren't that far away. They've shown good improvement over the last 4 or 5 weeks, and they're certainly a contender come finals time.
And you probably wouldn't want to come up against a side who's won 5 out of the last 6 premierships either. So they've still got a lot of experience in their team. Obviously, losing the McCartans and these types of players over the pre-season has certainly hurt their depth. There's no doubt about that. But they've still got a lot of quality running around in that side with a lot of experience. And come finals time, you'd still be pretty nervous if you came up against them, especially if you fell into that third spot. But I think, personally, there's probably the top 4 sides are very close. There's not much between North City, East Point, Melton and Sunbury. And then you've probably got a gap between, the 2 successful sides of the previous year in Redan and Lake Wendouree. Bacchus Marsh, that loss to Sebastopol on the weekend probably snuffs out any chance of them playing finals. But they're still not without a realistic chance of making it into the 6 either. So interesting end of the season coming up. But I think some fantastic netball coming up for the 2013 finals.
Yeah, what are your thoughts, Shawnee? With 5 or so weeks to go, who's the side to beat?
Yeah, look, I'm with Nunny. It's hard to split those top 4 sides. They've all shown glimpses throughout the year, and especially against each other. Like Sunbury sitting 4th at the moment. They've defeated North City. East Point have had a loss as well, but we know that on finals it's very much anyone's game, and I reckon this year it's going to say that even more because talk about those top 4 sides, and then as Nunny mentioned, Redan and Lake Wendouree in 5th and 6th. Experienced counts for a lot when it comes to finals. I wouldn't like to play them in September.
Exactly. Just touch on the netball ladder, the A-grade netball ladder at the moment. North City and East Point are 1st and 2nd, both on 44 points. Melton are in 3rd on 40 points. Sunbury in 4th on 38 points. Redan in 5th on 30 points. Lake Wendouree in 6th on 24 points. Then outside the 6, Bacchus Smash on 20, so a crucial loss there on the weekend, really. As you said, Nunny may have cost them a finals berth. Then Darley, Sebastopol, Melton South and Ballarat. So some important games coming up in the netball over the coming weeks. Boys, the footy ladder at the moment, North City on top in the football. Sunbury is 2nd, Redan 3rd, East Point 4th, Darley 5th, Ballarat sit inside the 6 on 24 points. Outside the 6 on 20 points is Melton South. Then Bacchus Smash, Lake Wendouree, Melton and Sebastopol. Boys, that 3rd position, at the moment we've got Redan and East Point both on 36 points. Then we've got Darley on 32 points, but Darley's percentage is really good on 140%. So some massive games coming up for Redan, East Point and Darley in the senior footy.
And you could probably extend that and include Sunbury in 2nd position into that because there's only 1 game gap between Sunbury and Redan. Percentage is pretty similar as we can see, and if Sunbury do come into a stretch where they do drop a game or 2, there's the teams waiting right behind to claim that double chance.
Boys, the Republic Clothing Player of last weekend goes to Paul Kotorenko from the East Point Football Netball Club. Cotter's has been Cotter's been a great servant of that club and also a great servant of the league over quite some time now. So congratulations to Paul on that award.
You saw him firsthand on the weekend, Nutty?
He was very good again. One of the best ruckmen in the competition, there's no doubt about that. Probably him and Paddy Carris are probably up there as 1 and 2. And he put in another polished performance on the weekend.
Well done to Paul on that award. Great to see. Boys, moving on to this weekend's games. Sorry, Matty. This weekend's games, Backer Smash v Melton at Madingley Park. Big game for Backer Smash. I think they can win 3 in a row.
Yeah, possibly. I think you might be right there, but Melton, you just don't know what they're going to bring to the table.
You don't.
Yeah, at home, I think Backer Smash should have enough. Melton have improved in the last couple of weeks, and they had the bye last week, but you'd think at home with a heat to play for, Backer Smash should be able to get over the line.
East Point take on Redan at the Eastern Oval on Saturday. A big game for East Point here. I think they need a big scalp, and I reckon they can beat Redan on Saturday.
We said the same thing last time these two teams played each other. Redan had come into the game off a loss against Sunbury, and East Point had some good form, and Redan took them to the cleaners here at the Mars City Oval. I'm tempted to say similar things to what I did last time as well, because East Point are in great form at the moment. Dan Jordan's obviously kicking goals. He only needs 30 more goals for the century this year. And I'm tipping East Point, but Nunny, I'm doing it very, very warily, knowing that you don't write off a champion like Redan.
Yeah, East Point need to go into this game thinking like they're playing against a Ballarat, a Lake Wendouree or a Sebastopol, because I think sometimes when they go in to play against Redan, they go in with a mindset that they're going to have a tough game and it's going to be difficult. Whereas if they go in there with no expectations, then they might be a chance of playing their free-flowing running game, which is when they're at their best. So it'd be interesting to see if Redan will allow them to play that freestyle of football. If they do, I think East Point will get up, but if Redan knuckle down and have a go at their good defensive style of play, I think they'll just go over the line. I think Redan in a very tight one.
Nunny, I want to pose a question to you here. Next game we'll look at is Lake Wendouree and Ballarat. If Ballarat continue to play the footy they're playing at the moment, they'll be making up the numbers come finals time if they happen to sneak in. They need to come in on the weekend, make a statement, and win this game by a good margin.
Yeah, they do.
But I think Lake Wendouree's form from last weekend showed that Lake Wendouree are a genuine chance to win this match.
Lake Wendouree should have beaten Ballarat in the first round.
I
firmly believe that. They missed a lot of opportunities, and we were talking to the great Scotty Carey just a minute ago off air about possibly their lack of options up forward, which has probably been their downfall this year.
Yep.
If they're able to find someone to actually pop up and kick a few goals, maybe Scotty Carey, if he doesn't have too many KFC chips this weekend, might be a chance of slotting a few.
It reflects his sporting career. I know he's a pretty handy cricketer, but he was happy to sit in the thirds last year and smash hundreds and come back every Saturday night with a bit of chest puffed out. But but he's fully okay. Like, he's a genuine, decent player in the competition, but we just like to see him go to the next level and really take a game by the scruff of the neck. And this weekend's a big chance for him.
If they can find an avenue to goal, I think they're a definite chance. But the problem is they're going to have to rob their defence to actually put someone up forward, like a Gavin Webb if he does play this weekend. But if he plays forward, then who do they get to play on a Proctor or a Martin or those types of players? So
Gavin played up forward a few times last year, a couple of bags of goals, but not too sure if he will play this week or not. Boys, North City take on Sebastian Eureka Stadium. With Sebastian, they've just got to try hard. That's all you can say. They've got to have a red hot crack. Just be competitive around the footy, tackle hard, chase hard, harass. North City will obviously win the game, but if they can just have a real red hot go, that's all you can ask.
Being competitive, that's exactly.
Yeah, get out there, be competitive, play 4 quarters of footy, and Sebastian will take something out of the game.
Well, if Sunbury take on Melton South at Clark Oval, you'd think Sunbury would be too strong here?
You'd think that they would, but Melton South are a very dangerous side when they get up and going. So if Sunbury give them a little bit of leeway or they do start slowly, this is the kind of game that Melton South could surprise.
Again, saying the same thing to Melton South that we did to East Point. They need to go into this game as if they're playing against a Melton or someone like that, so that they can actually free themselves up and play with just a bit of that flair that they seem to tense up when they play against the good sides in the competition. So big challenge for them. I think Sunbury will still get over the line, but they're right for the picking, Sunbury, at the moment. They've got a lot of players out, and if Melton South can put in a good performance, who knows what might happen.
Boys, before we finish the show, Mark and Goal of the Year nomination so far this year. We've seen the big hanger from Dan Jordan a few weeks ago, and also some good goals throughout the season as well. Hopefully we'll see some more over the coming weeks, but if you happen to see something, certainly send an email to yourself, Nunny, or also Sean, and hopefully nominate one of those goals or marks, and we can see see nomination come
To give you some
forward.
inspiration, we've actually got some highlight clips on BFNL.tv at the moment. The compilations of the mark of the year, the mark of the weekend, goal of the week nominations from rounds 1 to 11 so far, and there's some absolute rippers amongst them as well.
Very good, very good.
Now, I heard a rumour, Braids. Is it true that you're considering pulling on the boots for the Bungaree 2s this weekend?
Hang
Is
on.
that true or not?
Wouldn't get out of bed.
Breaking news.
Wouldn't get out of bed for anything less than 500 a game, Matty. So I probably wouldn't have thought, mate. I'll be
The funny part is that's true.
boys. Shawnee, I think you'll echo my thoughts here. It's a bloody pleasure to have Nutty on the show.
It is. It's fantastic.
The face of the Ballarat Football Netball League. It's like watching AFL 360 and seeing the great man Andrew Demetrio on.
Yep.
It's great. It's good to have the great man on.
I believe that there might be another footy show appearance in Nunny at the end of the year, and who knows, he might have an announcement to make on that later on in the season, but could be interesting. We'll see how it goes over the next couple of weeks, if the achy breaky back gets any better.
Nutty, we're happy to carry you off through the doors there if you want to answer
We might need to carry him off too, he's injured
There's
every
a
part of the
public
week.
audience, mate, if you want to announce it right
I'm not
now.
sure whether your legs would be able to support me, mate. But thanks for the offer anyway.
And thanks to the boys for tuning in. Obviously, Scotty, you've got a fair bit on at the moment, so thanks for tuning in, mate. Boys, thanks very much for joining us on the BFL Footy Show. And if you've tuned in this weekend, hopefully you've enjoyed the show. Goodbye for now, and we'll see you next week. See ya.
This week in the Red Onion Creative Ballarat Football League. The Red Onion Creative Ballarat Football League. Brought to you by Red Onion Creative, McDonald's, the Win Network, and these sponsors.